What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a look at Starter Deck 26, the Luffy Starter Deck. Now, I did show you the Martial DT Starter Deck previously. That one, the new cards look absolutely absurd. This one, there are some good new cards in here, and we absolutely need to talk about this. But I'm not convinced we're not just going to take those new cards and play a different Luffy. Let's get into it. Also, as a quick behind the curtains peek, when I started recording the Blackbeard deck, I had not seen the English scans. I think the Japanese ones went up ever so slightly earlier, and then while I was editing, the English scans, it turned out, were out. This time around, I know we got English scans of the new Luffy cards, so we don't need to worry. So starting off, we do of course have an alternate art of the OP09 Luffy, and there was a time where this was a good Luffy. There was a moment in time where this Luffy was a good, playable deck that was, well, seeing a bunch of play. That's not where we are right now. In the OP10 meta, straight purple Luffy from OP05 was a lot better, and honestly, green purple Luffy from the starter deck was better. And then when EBO2 came out, or I suppose it's just come out, but you know what I mean, in the EBO2 meta, the EBO2 Luffy is the best leader in the game, the best deck in the game. And then when OP11 comes out, we have a new Luffy coming, which actually jumps over EBO2 Luffy and becomes the best leader in the game. My point is, we have a bunch of good Luffy cards. Good Luffy leaders. And right now, I don't think this is one of them. With Blackbeard, I was just like, this is the second best deck in the game right now. This is awesome. We love this. This Luffy, it's not that good a leader right now. It's not making any real waves competitively. Like I say, there are two Luffy cards pre-EBO2, which are significantly better. And then EBO2 brings another. And then OP11 brings another. And what we're left with is OP09 Luffy. It did have a moment, but, I mean, look, in the OP10 meta, it was a 21st best deck with 0.31% of the meta. I think that tells you what you need to know. But it is worth noting that it's got a skill whereby on your turn once per turn, when two or more Don cards on your field are returned to your Don deck, you add a Don deck active and a Don deck rested. That is very relevant for the new cards we're going to be looking at here. Now, in terms of the reprints, we have a bunch. We've got the Vanilla Sangoro from OP05. We got the Jinbei from OP05, which is a blocker, and if you got 10 cards on the field, you get an extra 1,000 power on your opponent's turn. We've got the Franosuke, which is a very nice card. Counter plus 2k, and if you got 8 or more Don, you gain Rush. We've got the Vanilla Usopp. That's all I need to say about that. We got the Nami that's got counter plus 2k, and on play you can return 1 or more Don cards from your field to your Don deck to give 2 rested Don cards to your leader or one of your characters. Again, combos with the leader. We got the Roanoa Zoro that lets you return 1 or more Don from your field to your Don deck and then add a Don card from your Don deck active, but essentially here you return 2 Don, and then between this and the leader you get 2 active and 1 rested Don. Clear combo works nicely. We've then got Gum Gum Lightning, which lets you KO at 6k or less, and Gum Gum Giant that gives you a 4k bump and draws 2 cards. Gum Gum Giant is a card that sees a redonkulous amount of play. It is great. And then we've got Vanilla Brook, which is the only black character in the deck. It is a black-purple Luffy deck. This is the only black character in the deck. All the new Luffy cards are, or the new cards in the Luffy deck, I should say, are purple. This is the lone one here. But you need to remember that the OP11 Luffy is blue-purple. It is part purple. And the EBO2 Luffy is purple-green. It is part purple. So those new cards I'm going to show you, they will fit in here a little bit as well, which, yeah. As a reminder, the EBO2 Luffy's got a Don -2, and if you're only playing Straw Hats, set 2 Don to active and give the leader a 1k bump. And the OP11 Luffy, now you've got to have 8 or more Don, admittedly, at the start of your turn. But then you get to look at the top 5 cards of your deck, find a Straw Hat Pirate, add it to your hand, so it's going to really give consistency for Straw Hat decks. So what have we got in terms of new cards? Well, we've got a Sober Mask. It's not Sanji, it's Sober Mask. If you have a Sangoro or Sanji with 7k base power or more, this card gets -5 cost in your hand. It's a 2 cost 9k. And then you return all your Sangoro or Sanji characters to the owner's hand. Okay. Here's the thing, though. This kind of seems like it's got an obvious combo. Because Blue-Purple Luffy from OP11 is already playing Blue Sanji. The Blue Sanji from OP06, yeah, that's kind of a 4 of in a lot of builds of that deck. They do also tend to play the Sanji from OP07, but you need to have a base power of 7,000 or more, and it has a base power of 6, so that's not going to combo here. You do need to use the OP06 Sanji. But the thing is that OP06 Sanji is nuts. And it's got the phenomenal play skill that lets you reveal the top card of your deck and put a revealed character at a cost of 9 or more other than Sanji into play. So, what you can essentially do is play this Sanji, hopefully get another character, and then the next turn you attack with this Sanji, wait till it's rested, and then you can bump it back to your hand to get a 2 cost 9k, but then that Sanji is in hand, potentially ready to replay and get another use of the skill. Maybe you don't want to bump this Sanji back in order to play this as a 2 cost, but because you get to also reuse the on-play skill, I'm not saying you're going to, and I'm not saying it's necessarily going to be the perfect combo, but I am saying we have a Luffy deck, which is already playing a very relevant Luffy, and this seems like it could be an awful lot of fun here. So this is another one that I am absolutely keeping my eye out for. This seems like a pretty fun card. Of course, if you're playing sealed, and we know we do have those sealed tournaments with these decks, then you're going to be looking at the Sangoro 6 cost 8k. It's fine. But really what we're looking at here is a way to get a 9k body on the board while also potentially bouncing Sanji back to reuse. Now we got a Tony Chopper, 3 cost 4k, counter plus 1,000. We got Blocker, and on play, Don -2, and you rest one of your opponent's Don cards, or one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or less. Okay, nice. It's a blocker that's got a little bit of potential here. Little bit of disruption. Of course, with this leader Luffy, you put 2 Don back, you put 2 rested Don back, and then you get an active and a rested back, so, yeah, that's alright. That'll do quite nicely. Essentially, it's a blocker that activates one of your Don as well, which is not too shabby. Seems to work nicely in here as well, but it's also just a blocker that you've got available in a fairly low-cost blocker for all these purple Straw Hat decks. Now we got ourselves a Nico Robin, a 2k counter. Very nice because then it gives you a searchable 2k counter. And on play, Don -2, add a Don card from your Don deck active. So the theory here essentially is with this Luffy leader, you're Don -2, but you get rid of 2 rested Don and you get back 2 active and a rested. So really, you activate 2 Don and get an extra rested, which is kind of nutty. Plus the 2k counter, this Robin is a very good card with this particular new Luffy leader. If you're playing with the other Luffy, essentially, you're just playing it as a swap 2 rested Don for 1 active Don, 3 cost 4k, counter plus 2,000. Which is still not terrible, to be fair. Still could work quite nicely. Now, General Frankie comes in, 8 cost 10k, and on play, Don -2. You'll notice the Don -2 keep coming. That is not a coincidence. That is how this leader works. But you got to remember, the leader skill is only once per turn, so it's not like you can keep Don -2 on everything. Give up to 2 of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power for the turn. It's a 10k body that gets minus 2k to 2 of your opponent's characters. It's fine. Doesn't strike me as particularly stunning. It's fine. But then we've got the super rare Luffy. I love this super rare Luffy. This super rare Luffy is bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Because we've got a 6-cost, 7,000 power Luffy, but on play and when attacking, Don -2. If your leader is multicolour and your opponent has 5 or more Don on their field, your Straw Hat Crew type leader's base power becomes 7,000 until the end of your opponent's next end phase. So you Don -2 to put your leader up to a 7k? Bearing in mind, every time now on your opponent's turn, they're trying to go through your leader, they've got to have an extra 2,000 on the attack just to get going. Just to even start and have any chance, they're going from a 5 to a 7 on every attack. That's absurd. Even if they take out your Luffy, they still can't really go after the leader without putting a bunch of extra resources in. This is crazy good. I adore this. Yes, obviously, with the Luffy we've got here, you Don -2 and then you get 1 active and 1 rested back. Cool. But does anyone think this isn't going to go straight into green-purple Luffy? Now, it's interesting because the blue-purple Luffy is already at 6k. So there is an argument that that bump from 6 to 7k is not going to be enough. I still think it could be very good, but there is at least an argument here. But then again, there's also an argument that the consistency boost you get from your leader skill is going to make this much easier to find, and therefore it's going to be worth it. But then we've got your green-purple Luffy, which is just absurdly good. Do bear in mind your purple Luffy is a mono leader, i.e. you're not going to be able to play this in it. But I honestly just see this as making green-purple Luffy way better. I mean, green-purple Luffy is already brilliant, and we need to look at the wording here, because this skill makes your base power 7, and then your leader skill gives you an extra 1,000 power. Which means, yes, you can combine them to put your leader up to 8k. That's going to be a turn where your opponent's just not getting anything going. You put your leader up to 8k, and then you get a bit of counter and a blocker or something, and your opponent can get like 1 or 2 attacks off, and it's so much easier to just fend them off. Oh, this one looks better. I am not convinced that these new cards are going to make this Luffy better. Or better enough, I should probably say. I think the Blackbeard cards could take Blackbeard and make it even better than it already is, and it's already nuts. I don't think this is going to happen to this new Luffy, or this new deck for the old Luffy. But I do think some cards, especially this new Super Rare Luffy, are going to end up seeing play in other Luffy decks. That's what I think, but I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Get us? Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.